Hey guys, welcome back to Black Lotus Gaming. Today I have a new deck tech. This is going to be for Heliod, the Radiant Dawn. And this is kind of like a hidden tribal commander. It's not going to be what you think at all. Unless you saw the title or something. But this is a commander right here. So, there's one thing. This is not a budget deck at all. This deck through TCG is about 1500. And also, I tried to build a group hug deck because I've been known to play kind of aggressively in my group, and I don't really play deck. I don't really play blue. Sorry, but I decided to try it this time, and so I guess it really came out because the salt sum is 90. And if you're not aware of what that means, the average salt sum is around 38 to 40. Mine's 90. That's over double. So that's basically like how salty the cards are in this deck. And I don't know, I tried building Group Hug and it just went the complete opposite way. That's why you see the title. I swear it's Group Hug. It kind of is. You'll see. But it's kind of, like I said, it's a hidden tribal. It's actually going to be Eldrazi in blue-white, which is something you don't see much. We're going to take a look at the commander real quick. Yeah, as I said, this is not a cheap deck. And also, there's one thing. It is not commander legal. It's 100 cards, of course. But there are two illegal cards, Mana Crypt and Emrakul Aeon's Torn. You can swap those out with something else, Ramp or something. Or some other big threats. Or really just, you can have it as a Rule 0 deck. Just have Rule 0 conversation. And, yeah, I guess go from there. But this is really fun. I played this deck once, and I completely smashed the table. Had like a 11-11 Ulamog turn 3 or something. But I also got Soul Ring. But we're going to take a look at it. So, the flip side of Heliod says, when Heliod enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card that isn't a god from your graveyard to your hand. Not that exciting. Not what we're looking to do, really, but transform Heliod, pay 3, and a Phyrexian blue, which can be paid as blue or 2 life, and activate only as a sorcery. He flips into Heliod the Warped Eclipse. You may cast spells as though they had flash. Okay, that's not the kicker even. This is the kicker. The spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card your opponents have drawn this turn. So, there's a weird thing you can do with this. If you keep open 3 mana or something, you can play Windfall. And that's each opponent discards their hand and draws 7 cards. So then if you have 3 opponents, that's going to be 21. Your stuff is 21 less to cast. And that's insane. So, and you have at Flash. So, I have these 3 Eldrazi's in my hand that cost 11 mana. Yeah, just let me chuck them on the board for free. That's why it's so crazy. And that's why he becomes the target a lot. If you're going to swap out the 2 illegal ones, probably swap it out for some more protection for him. That's what I'd like a little more of, but I really like this deck for fun. This is just a really random, cool deck. But yeah, so there's kind of 2 parts of this deck. We're going to have the threats and then also the card draw to make our opponents draw cards. That's why it's Group Hug, kind of. And then we're going to have the side where our big threats and stuff, where we put them out, like Brightsteel Colossus, basically our reward for getting our opponents to draw cards. We draw a lot of cards too. So for the first card, we have Laboratory Maniac. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead, which is pretty important. I mean, most of the time you're not going to need it, but there are some cards in here that can allow that to happen. For the land base, I kind of just put a meh land base together. I just kind of like to let other people do their land bases, because I don't know other people's preferences, but, of course, my recommendations are more islands and plains in this deck. We're going to have Reliquary Tower for drawing a lot of cards. Gara Reach Sanitarium is just a cool one to have in. If you need to get something else that costs 3 less to cast or whatever, We have some wastes because we're going to need them. Just a couple. You don't need many. Exotic Orchard and Command Tower. There's a lot more you can put in, but this is just kind of the base for that. Not a bad land base. You're definitely going to want to alter it, but I'll leave that up to you guys. This will be link in the description. You can use it, build it, whatever you like. So this is the first category I was telling you about for, I guess it's out of order, but this is the stuff that we're going to want to cast for cheap. When our opponents draw, whatever, each opponent draws 7 cards, discard the hand, draw 7 cards. Our stuff is now going to cost 21 less to cast or whatever. And that's, like, renewable. It's not like you spend, like, say I make each opponent draw 7 cards. It's not like I have to spend 7 of that to play Artisan Kozilek. It would just be like it just costs 21 less to cast that turn. So say if I have Artisan Kozilek and Brightstone Colossus in my hand, and my stuff costs 12 less to cast, I can still cast both of them. So that's really why it's really cool. This is a bunch of threats, bunch of big dumb stuff, to be able to just do a lot of stuff and just be splashy. So we're gonna have things like Artisan Kozilek and Brightstone Colossus being really fun. Chromatic Ori is cool. So this stuff doesn't really like synergize with it. It's just more things that you can just plop out that are good threats. Consecrated Sphinx, a lot of drawing. Emerald Cold, Aeon's Torrent, that's the illegal one that you can switch out if you want, or you can just have a rule 0. Or maybe if it gets unbanned and Mana Crypt gets unbanned, then this is a completely illegal deck. But keep in mind, this is a pretty pricey deck. With all the cool treatments and stuff, it's about $1,500 on TCG. I'm sure it's less without the cool treatments. It might be like $1,000 or something for the cheapest printings. But still a pretty pricey deck because of all these big Eldrazi's. We're going to also have things like Emrakul, the 3 Emrakuls, Aeon's Torrent, Promise End, and World Anew. I really like these special treatments. I'm working on getting the concept Eldrazi's, which are really fun. Enter the Infinite is a really fun one. If you see, we have Omniscience here. So one thing I like doing is if you play Omniscience for like 3 mana, because it's 7 and 3. So if your opponents draw at least 7 cards that turn, you then get to what's it called? You then get to cast that for 3 mana, and then you can cast Enter the Infinite for 4 mana. So basically, or no, you can actually cast for free. So you cast it, and then you draw cards equal to your library, put 1 on top, and then basically you get to throw down everything that's on there. So you basically play your whole deck. It's a crazy combo. I really like it. I did that last turn, and it was crazy, because everything in this deck you get to have for free. Pretty fun. We have random things like Flare of Loyalties, It That Betrays, Jin-Gitaxias, and Jin-Gitaxias Core Augur. This is why this deck is so rated so high on the Salt Sum. Because I have Jin-Gitaxias, all the Emrakuls, Blightsteel Colossus, Consecrated Sphinx, random combos, just a ton of random stuff. I can see why this is salty. And then we also have Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant. You can't really see the rest of his name. And the 3 Kozileks, Butcher of Truth, Broken Reality, and Great Distortion. We have, Omniscience, of course. Portal to Phyrexia is a really fun one. Super salty. Psychosis Crawler is great. Just random thing. And if you draw all your cards in your deck with Enter the Infinite and then play Psychosis Crawler, he's what, like I don't know, at that point in the game, 70 or something. Rise of the Eldrazi, just a fun, flexible that you're going to want to play for free, and it can't be countered. So you get to destroy a permanent, make target player draw 4 cards, which can work in, you can make another player draw cards, make your stuff cheaper, or you could draw 4 cards and you take an extra turn. I really like that card. It's fun. And Ulamog's Dreadsire, fun. I don't know why, but it's a 10/10. Why not? And then Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, the Filer, and the Infinite Gyre. That's the thing about this deck. We have the trio of trios. We have 3 Emrakuls, 3 Kozileks, and 3 Ulamogs. So we put all of them in there. It's very cool. And then we also have Void Winnower. Yeah, I like all this weird art. The really nice concept art and borderless stuff. Especially Ulamog the Infinite Gyre on the right here. It's probably one of my favorite art in this deck. That's why this deck is so expensive. It wouldn't be. It's probably around $1,000 without all the treatments I haven't seen though. And then we do have things like Zuladoc, the Void Gorger, expensive, and it's really good to, I don't know, just to have a big clunky creature, and also since you're casting all these Eldrazi's, you're also getting a Cascade after them, getting a lot of random stuff. Additionally, since this is blue-white, we're going to have a lot of control, so we're going to have quite a few counters / protection. We have Arcane Denial, Counterspell, Cyclonic Rift, again with the saltiness. Disrupting Shoal is kind of a random one you could take out, but it's kind of cool. And you can kind of pay X, because X works well with the, drawing cards thing and reducing the cost, because that pays into X. And also things like Mana Drain to help us get ramp, whatever. Force of Will for a good free spell. And Fierce Guardianship to help us protect our commander and just draw a lot. Also, now we have into the second section of making our opponents draw cards. This is the other half of the deal. So we're going to have cards. You could have more of this. I would definitely add more wheel kind of things. I know we have a section for wheel, I believe. We have things like Cut a Deal. It's kind of good. You can do some politicking in this deck. Dictative Crufix. Drowning Dreams is either you can kill someone, or you can make you draw cards, or you can reduce your stuff even more by making them draw cards. Font of Mythos, just to have, when an opponent draws a card on their turn, they're going to end up drawing 3 cards instead. And so then, voila, your stuff costs 3 less to cast that turn already, not even mentioning whatever else you may make them draw through a bunch of random stuff, such as Quain. We also have Forced Fruitation. It's the dumbest card ever. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player draws 7 cards. You could easily be milled out by that. But it's really fun. And, I like this deck because your opponents can't really complain because they're drawing a ton of cards. But, you really can with all the saltiness. We have Kami of the Crescent Moon. Just kind of like Font of Mythos. Then you draw an additional card. Again, Quain to tap for each player to draw a card and gain a life. Just having that group hug strategy. Being fun. Prosperity, again, working both ways. Make your stuff cost less to cast, and also to make you draw cards either way. One thing to mention is the cost reduction does pay into the X spells. So if your opponent's already draws 7 cards this turn, that's going to cost 7 less to cast. So it's going to automatically be 7 if you want, and then you could pay more into it. So it can help if you just leave it at 7, then bam, now it's going to be up to 14. Your stuff's going to cost 14 less to cast. That's one cool thing about this deck, is it's dumb and it's fun. Standstill is the funniest card. Whenever a player casts a spell, sacrifice Standstill. If you do each of that player's opponents draw 3 cards, it's kind of like nobody wants to cast a spell because you're trying to all get the card draw, and that can just add to really funny moments. And yeah, this deck is really kind of, I guess, memey and but also functional at the same time, and nice looking, I guess. And it's, I don't know, it's just really funny. It's kind of jank, but it still works. That's the one thing I don't like about jank decks, that they don't really work most of the time, but this one still seems to, even though it still has some jank to it. Yes, it's meant for a more casual play, obviously, because of the rule 0. And, but kind of, this is definitely an improved deck. Casual, competitive, not CDH, but more optimized casual. Yeah, and continuing on, we have Struggle for Project Purity. Kind of to make your opponents draw more cards, and you draw cards, just going along with that. Various puzzle blocks. Really, make your opponents draw more cards. Temple Bell, just like Quain, but not a creature, and your opponents don't gain life. But it's a pretty cool one. You can kind of choose if you want to let them draw cards or not, doing more politicking, whatever. Yes, and protection. This is what I definitely want more of, but if I were to take out Disrupting Shoal, maybe Emrakul and Mana Crypt, because of the legal ones, I would probably add more protection, like Swiftfoot Boots, or just random stuff, because your commander will die a lot in this, I can assure you, because without him, the deck doesn't work. So that's kind of fun. I play really heavily commander center games, or decks. So that's what I like about it, is that it either works or it doesn't. So we have Chimmel the Inner Sun to help our spells not to be countered, because that's important. And at the beginning of your end step, discover 5, because why not? Extra value. Lightning Greaves and Propaganda for protection for me and my commander, and for Terra's protection for me. And I guess my commander could too also. One thing I want to mention, one of the best cards in this deck is Cosmic the Great Distortion. It's like literally like $4. That's it. But he says discard a card with mana value X, counter target spell with mana value X. So you're going to be drawing so many cards, you're going to be able to counter whatever you want. I did that before. I played Enter the Infinite, and really I had my whole deck. So if I have something to say mana, just no, I don't think you're allowed to play that. It's so fun. And then we have more ramp. It's definitely low on ramp. You could use more, but I would say when I played before, it ramped fine. We have Arcane Signet, of course, Mana Crypt that, is not legal. We have Smothering Tithe, Soul Ring, and Thought Festival could be for the maximum hand size. And yeah, it's pretty basic ramp. You could definitely add more. There's no search for lands or anything. And there's not enough removal in this deck, that's for sure. I don't have any of the Swords of Plowshare and Path to Exile, because I don't really care for those cards. I don't really like playing removal that much. But yeah, it's more just fun. It's a fun deck, and I don't really like removal, but you can add some more if you want to take it out. Whatever, you can copy this deck. You can take it as it is. Do whatever you want with it. Mystic Remora is... I couldn't find a category for this, because I don't know, it's just draw for me, and it's fun, because I like the art, and why wouldn't you have it in it? I don't know, it's a cool card. I've never played with it before, but I've been starting to like it. It's pretty cool. We have a lot of wheels, just like I said. A Wheel of Unfortunate, it's pretty unfortunate for them, but some people do like it when you wheel. I remember last game I was playing it and people were telling me, can you please wheel? And I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't tell me to do that. So we have things like Emergency Powers is literally the best one ever, because with what has actually happened and what can happen is you play Emergency Powers, you get to put 7 or less from your hand on the battlefield. Each opponent draws 7 cards, your stuff costs 21 less to cast, yada yada. And then you play all the Eldrazi from that hand, and then, wow, if you drew Emergency Powers again, you can replay it. That's what's really fun. Okay, one thing, I'm totally wrong. I just read the card. Reading the card explains the card. You exile Emergency Powers. Scrap that. That cannot happen. Okay, so I definitely read that wrong. But that is okay. Okay, going on, we have Jace's Archivist, and really, just another wheel. Time Spiral is a good another wheel, and, again, exile is from the game, and you get to untap 6 lands. Yeah, I totally should have read that card before. I've been playing a little wrong with that, but, mistakes happen. And we have Wheel and Deal. Any number of target opponents each discard their hand, then draw 7 cards. So you can kind of pick and choose who you want to or not. Pretty fun. Then you also get to draw a card. And then we have Classic Windfall, because why not? Because it's a fun card. Yeah. And then we have X spells. Lastly, we have just some X spells that are good to max out. That if your stuff costs 21 less to cast, it's automatically 21 or less that you can put. So we have things like White Sun's Twilight. We can create whatever 21 1/1s. That's fine. With Toxic One, so it's we kind of one-shot someone. Even the Score is good if you just want to draw a lot of cards. And also can be, you don't have to pay the blue if your opponents draw 4 more cards this turn. Finale of Glory is great, just end the game. If you say you have like 21, then that's 21 2/2s and 21 4/4s with Flying and Vigilance. And that's pretty crazy. We also have Helios Intervention for you to gain twice, 21, whatever. You can gain 42 life just from wheeling your opponents, then playing that and having 2 white mana. That's fun. And we have Walking Ballista, really one of the most fun ones, because, you can just pay into that however much. And then if it's, if your opponent has like 40 life or whatever, you can just remove all the counters and just, ping him till it's dead. That's what I tried to do, but it got countered or something. But it's not too bad. This is a really fun deck. I really enjoy it. You can see the blue. There's so much more blue than there is white, so maybe add... Because I have a bit of plains in here, so maybe optimize more for for islands rather than plains. And yeah, we do have some... We just have a little bit of... What's this? Colorless. We have 4 cards apparently with 8 pips in it, and we can produce total of 16 mana on 10 cards because of course, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, those all produce colorless, which is good too. And we are going to need some tokens for this, of course. We're going to need Treasure, 2/2 Soldier with Vigilance, Angel, Copy, Eldrazi, Manifest, Phyrexian Might, not too much. Yeah, as I said, we do have a lot of Eldrazi, so I'm going to see if I can find... Oh, wow. That's crazy. They just updated this, and I can't really figure it out that much. But I know... Here, let's go. Types. Nope. Subtypes. Okay. We have 15 Eldrazi's in this deck. Not as much as I thought, but it's still Eldrazi themed because of all the, just the Eldrazi's. And then also I kind of try to make it Double Masters and Commander Masters themed. You can see I opted for the Double Masters set, symbols, and whatever. I also really like Phyrexians. It's kind of just fun to play around with and to choose what kind of frames you want. That's my favorite part about making a deck, is making it fancy and making it look nice, making it optimized to how you like it. And that's what I love about Magic, is that you can choose how you want to build something. There's whatever, 80,000, 50,000 cards. I don't know. I've heard 80,000. I've heard 50,000. I'm assuming it's around 80,000. Yeah, there's whatever, 80,000 cards in Magic, including all the different frames and stuff. And then that's really, you really get to enunciate that in your deck to be able to choose whatever you want. And, to be able to have all the frames. No, there's probably no other deck that's like the same. I mean, there are decks that are the same, but, it's so various and different. And that's one of my favorite things about it, being able to optimize it to how you like it. So yeah, that's going to be my deck tech for today for Heliod the Radiant Dawn, and being a secret Eldrazi group hug commander in blue-white, which I never thought I'd say that. But yeah, really fun. It will be linked down in the description. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.